What is up, guys? It is me, All Art Lewis, and today I'm back with another video, and I'm gonna be showing you guys how to draw a human eye. And it's relatively simple. It's very simple, and just for that point, I'm gonna use a regular, just #2 school pencil, nothing too crazy. An eraser if you want, yeah, just to erase any mistakes, and that's pretty much it. There's two things you need right here: pencil and eraser. Any type of pencil, any type of eraser, it doesn't matter. And if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, please. It really helps out a lot. And yeah, let's get started. All right, so what you want to do is, for one, if you're really new, hold the pencil very lightly. Don't press too hard on it, just very lightly. And you're going to want to sketch a very light outline like this. So you guys are seeing right now. Very light one, just like that. Just like that, very light. Then once you have that, you want to go down here, do the same thing down here. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be perfect lines. It's just a rough outline of the eyeball, just like that. There you go. Once you do that, you want to start with the upper area, which is here, just like this. Remember, very light, so that way if you make any mistakes, you can erase it. You can go back and erase it if you need to erase anything. Just like that. Relatively simple. Hold on, let me go back to it. Make the corners a little thinner. There we go. There we go. Just like that. There we go. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna fix this up once we have the outline, okay? Just like that. We have our little outline. Hold on, let me just make it a little bit more darker here, just so you guys could see on camera the shape of the eye. There we go, just like that. Remember, hold it very lightly. The pencil needs to be held very lightly in order to get these rough sketches. There we go. And then once you have that, you go to the bottom, start kind of darkening the bottom area just a little bit, not like too dark, just a little bit. And there we go. And then here in these two corners, here and here, you're gonna want to kind of close them off like a little oval, very lightly though, like that. Close them off like that. Then you want to do a thin line like this. Very thin, very lightly as well. You need to hold the pencil very lightly like that. And you do the same on the other side, like this. There we go, just like that. Then what you want to do after that is go down here to this bottom area right here and go around this like this and like that. Remember, not too much pressure on the pencil, just very lightly, almost like you're gliding through the paper. Literally, just very lightly like that. There we go. Yep, just like that. And just like that, look, we have an outline of the eye. See, just very simple. It's relatively simple. And after that, I'm gonna go like this and darken the outer area, just like that. Let me zoom in just so you guys can see a little better. There we go. Just like that, and just darken it, just a little bit like this. Make it a little darker, more visible, like that. Once you have that like this, once you have that down, then you want to darken this area. This area, put a little more pressure to get it, a little darker. Because that's the under bit of the eye. That's where, a lot of shadow. There's a lot of shadow on this area because there's the eyelashes and all of that. So this area is gonna have the most shade, just like that. Boom. See? And now after that, we're going to do the eye. So for the positioning of the eye, what I like to do, especially if you're starting off, what I would do is first go like this, very lightly, go like that. Just kind of mark. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just to get an idea of like where you're going to want to draw the eye, and you know, yeah, you're probably gonna be able to do better line than me. It's just that I have to just kind of speed run through this. There we go. Once you have that, you have a better you have a better chance of getting it right where the eye needs to be. And yeah, just go back here because I notice just start shading this area quite a bit. Remember, shading, not too much pressure, just lightly shade till it gets dark. There we go, just like that. After that, you're going to want to start doing the eye, right? You're going to start from here, gonna go like this. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect because you're gonna go back with it again and redo it, basically. I'm gonna re-outline it. There we go. There we go, just like that. And just like that, look, you have, that's it. You basically have the eye down. Now what you need to do is, after this, just, do the pupil, then the light right here, the little light. For this, you just want to kind of shade a little bit of this like this. There we go. Leave this a little bit like that. And yeah, after that, you want to make this a little darker like this. You gotta apply pressure on it like this, so it looks more, just make it look more like an eye, basically. And yeah, there we go, just like that. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. After you do that, if you want, you can. I'm gonna just do this. Erase the lines. You see how easy it is to erase, cause it's super light. You just sketched over it. Like, you don't even have to put pressure on the eraser. Erases like a charm. There you go. There we go. And look at that. The erase marks are fully gone. Or eraser marks. There we go. And yeah, just make this a little darker again. There we go. There we go. That's the amount I wanted on it. Okay, then you want to start with the pupil. So for the pupil, I like to start kind of shading in the center of it, or where I think is the center, and kind of start shading around and keep expanding it, just like that. See, it starts off as a shade till I think, or where I feel most comfortable the pupil is. So I'm just gonna leave it like this, and that's where I'm gonna leave the pupil at, just right there. There we go. And then after that, you want to make it more darker. There we go. Gonna make it very dark. For this one, yeah, you're gonna have to push down on the pencil and apply pressure. Apply quite a bit of pressure on it. There we go. Just like that. Boom. Just like that, you have the pupil down. Once you have the pupil down, then you start shading. Start shading, lightly shade it like this. Very lightly. Very lightly till you get up to here. Shade it this light until you get up to here. Okay, so then right here, from here to here, it's gonna be dark shading. So up here, you start very dark. You put a lot of pressure onto the pencil, right? Until you get to here. You do the same here. Put that amount of pressure. Very, very dark. You need to make it about this dark. Then once you get here, you start shading very lightly till it, very lightly. Hold the pencil very light. Just let it kind of glide through the paper till you get that, that shade, till it, it blends basically. It just, yeah. This is shading. It's not that difficult. There we go, like that. As you go down, lift the pencil from the paper slowly, little by little, till you have that, a nice little, yeah, shade right there going. You see, from dark, from here, hold on, let me just fix this up a little bit. There we go. From here, dark, to there, light. And yeah, that's basically, it's basically the eye right there. The eye is all complete. Oh, if you want to draw it more detailed, then that's a whole nother video that I can do. But just for simple, just for, people who just want to learn how to draw an eye very simply, this is definitely the way to go, Nothing too crazy, nothing too detailed. There we go, like that. Make it this a little more darker, this as well. Start shading. Okay, there we go. Now for the shade, the undershade right here, go with a dark line across this, like this. Dark line, there we go. Then down here, what you want to do is you want to slowly shade this area down here, up to here, all around. Very light shade, not too dark. There we go. Just like that. Up to here, I would say. Then you want to make it more darker. Slightly more darker. There we go. Darker and darker. Go. And as it goes out like this, make it more lighter, just like that. It's more lighter. And don't worry, if it goes out of there, you just kind of erase it a little bit. There we go. Something like that. And I know it doesn't seem, like what the hell, what's that? But don't worry, because once you blend it together, it starts looking good, I promise. And hold on, let me go put more pressure here. There we go. Okay, good. Now you do the same up here. You start with a light shade. Start with a light shade around here. Just do the same thing you did at the bottom, basically. There you go, like that. As you go up, make it a little lighter. There we go. And then go back down here, make it a little more darker, just a little bit. And then as it goes up, start blending it in a little bit. There we go. And if like the top comes out a little darker than the bottom, if you can see the difference, then just add a little bit more shade to the bottom, just a little bit, just to even out, the coloration. There we go. And this is the fun part. So now we get to start shading. And for shading, you can use a blending stick, right? It's basically rolled up paper. And yeah, it's meant for shading. Look, I'll show you. See, it shades. But for the sake of this video, I'm gonna use my finger. You just go like this, right under it. This, apply pressure, and as it goes out, start shading it out like that. There we go. Just like that. Then you do the same thing on top here. The same thing you did to the bottom of it. Start pressing down on it till everything kind of becomes a shade. Just like that. There we go. And if you could still see these lines here, just fill it in a bit more and then shade them away with your finger. It doesn't matter if a bit of shade gets onto the drawing. This can be erased. There we go. It's a little bit more. There we go. And the bottom, you could do the same thing if you want. Just add a bit more. There we go. Just like that. You've added your shade to your drawing. Look, relatively simple, in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're a complete like beginner at art, it takes like practice, obviously, but it's not too difficult. You know, it's not too difficult to the point where it takes like months or something like that. You could pick this up within a few days. That's if you're like, you know, dedicated to learning it. So, you know, people sometimes, like, you want to learn something, but you know, you just slack off and don't do it. Me sometimes, you know, I admit I do slack sometimes, but hey, no one's perfect. You know, everyone's human, so it is what it is at the end of the day. So yeah, so we have that down. Now what you want to do is you start adding a bit of shade onto this area right here, like this, just a little bit, like very light. So press down very lightly, like that. Then you do the same to the other side, like that, going upwards. There we go. Then you want to take your finger again, press down till it meets the top, just like that. And press down a little bit here on the corner. There we go, something like that. And yeah, go like this on these little corners like that. Do the same thing down here. There we go, apply some pressure on it, like that. There we go, boom, look at that. A relatively simple eye. I mean, it's, you know, it's not the best, it's not the greatest, it's not detailed, you know, it's meant for, you know, if you're just starting, this is something that you might want to, you know, just learn, because it, you know, comes in handy, and it's something that eventually, you know, you'd want to learn how to do, you know. Relatively simple, it's easy, it's nice to draw, and yeah. I said I'm not gonna go too into detail, and I'm over here already trying to add details. Okay, so yeah, this is an eye. Hold on, wait, let me just blend the pupil a little bit. There we go. Yeah, you could blend this area right here with your finger too if you want. Just, I don't know, it's up to you. There we go. And that right there, folks, is how you draw a human eye. Very easy, simple. Not too much details. You just need, you know, sketch it first, then add dark lines, and then shade. That's literally it. You can use any pencil, literally. I mean, I used a school number 2 pencil. You see, like, you don't really need nothing too crazy. Yeah.